Hi, I'm Gerry Yarrish, and we're here in my workshop. I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of a upcoming how-to article for Model Airplane News, and it entails work that I'm doing on my modified Nick Zeroli Skyraider. It's a reduced version from his 100-inch plan, and this one is 85 inches, so it's being reduced 15%. And the how-to itself is how I installed the engine, which here, as you can see, it's a Fuji 43cc gas engine. Well, normally, with a giant scale warbird like the Skyraider, the airplane engine would be attached to a very strong attachment box, which is then glued and reinforced to the firewall. For this how-to, I've actually made the whole attachment system a bolt-on, so it's actually removable, so you can work on the engine and also all of its internals, which would include the battery packs, the throttle servos, and the fuel system. So to get into all of the details of how this whole unit is put together, I'll go step by step and show you all of the parts required to put this system together. So the first thing, obviously, that you're going to do when you're making a removable engine mount is that you have to have the engine itself, and you also have to have the side view of the fuselage so you can put it in place and see how it's going to fit. Also, you need to make the parts, of course, for the attachment box structure, and with that you'll need a new firewall, the firewall attachment ring, the four sides of the box structure itself, along with a firewall, sub-firewall that is matched to the attachment bolts for your engine, and an aft bulkhead which ties the whole thing together, the aft part of your structure. And then what you do is you take your engine and you lay it on the plans, and then you look at the front to make sure that you have plenty of propeller clearance in front of the cowling. Then go back to where the attachment bolts will be on the lugs on the back side of the engine, and draw a line here on the plans that show the firewall structure. Once you have your box all together, you place it over your plans again, and you align the face of the sub firewall to that line that you drew on the plans. And then what you want to do is you want to transfer the face of the actual firewall for the fuselage. And I take a mark, and then I use a straight edge or a square, and then I do all four sides, making sure that everything lines up properly. So here I've slid the attachment ring so it lines up with the pencil marks that I made that represent the face of the actual firewall for the fuselage. It's important to make sure that you have this on the right side of the line, and you want the back of the attachment ring to be lined up with the pencil marks. For a little bit of reinforcement, you can see that I've also installed balsa wood tri-stock, and this is 1/2-inch tri-stock, and it's glued in place with thick epoxy, 15-minute epoxy, and allowed to cure, and it's on all four sides, and this really strengthens, you know, the overall attachment of all of these parts together by increasing the area of the glue sections. Here you see the front of the fuselage, and this is F1, the firewall, and it is ready for the firewall to be installed. And of course, this is the new firewall that I had spoken about, which has the 6 holes for the attachment bolts, along with the large opening for the box structure to fit into. And again, this is attached with 15-minute, or if you want to, even 30-minute epoxy. And you really don't want to skimp. You want to really get a good bond here, because this is the main structure that's holding your engine to your airplane. As you can see here, the box structure, it fits right into place, and you can slide it right in, and the attachment ring will fit right up against the main fuselage firewall. Inside, as you can see here, the back of the box structure actually has a couple of extensions built into it, and this is where we have made a couple of more attachment points. So besides the 6 bolts in the front, there's 2 additional bolts that secure the box structure to the fuselage airframe inside, and that's done with 832 blind nuts and a few layers of 1/4-inch plywood, which makes up a very nice, very strong, easy to install and remove attachment bolts. To get the attachment bolts in place up front, what's really easy, instead of trying to put the blind nuts into the actual firewall, what I like to do is I cut a series of smaller squares of 1/8-inch plywood and then install the blind nuts on those. Then what I can do is I can reach from underneath. Again, like I said, we didn't put any sheeting on the fuselage underneath the chin area, and I can reach in and then one by one attach these blind nuts along with the nut itself and the threaded part, the screw, and tighten the screw to pull the blind nuts into place. And here again, I use 15-minute epoxy to get a really strong and sturdy, vibration-resistant glue joint. So once all of the blind nuts are in place, as you can see here, it's a matter of finishing up the sheeting, and then you're really good to go to install your box structure. So there you have it. It's pretty simple. It's all self-contained. It has the box, which actually the structure itself goes all the way through this plate, and this plate is attached to the front of the firewall. And inside this aft part of the box, you have your fuel tank, you have your throttle servo, and you have your batteries for your ignition system if you have it, or there's room here for other items as well. So next time you're putting together an airplane from scratch, or if it's a kit, consider doing this modification. It's easy to do, makes it a lot easier to work on your power system outside of the fuselage and swap engines, or if you wanted to go to an electric powered system, you can make one here and have it all set up for an electric motor. So until next time, be sure to go to modelairplanenews.com.